All good. All right. Look, it's on 6 o'clock PM New Zealand time. So whatever makes that time around the world where you are in Australia or the UK. Thank you for jumping on board. And this is the MDRT Court of the Table study group usually. But we thought we've got such a great presenter tonight that we would ask the rest of New Zealand and Australia if they wanted to jump on. So thank you all for jumping on. You're all coming in thick and fast now, which is cool. And I'd like to introduce David Braithwaite, who'll be speaking tonight. Do you want me to talk about you? Because I have done all my homework.
Oh, now this is going to be intriguing. Now we're going to
This,
find out how much homework Matt's done. So let's do
yeah,
this. This will be fun.
this was a 20-minute ago AI search, so we'll see how good AI is.
Oh no, 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 no. What's going to be in there?
David Braithwaite, once he was let out of jail. Oh, wait, hang on, wrong person. David's the managing director of Citrus Financial, just outside of Sevenoaks in Kent, and he's been a part of that firm and led that firm for over 30 years. He's been an MDRT member since around 2007 or 8. I'm not quite sure. And been a court top of the table member many, many times over. He's spoken all around the world. He's been down our part of the world a few years ago, I remember, a couple of times, I think, and is speaking at the MDRT Global Conference coming up soon in Macau. And we're all getting ready to leave for that, who's going in a couple of weeks. So I won't take up any more of your time. I will let you speak, David, and I will mute myself and shut up. So enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the first thing I've got to work out now is how I share my screen on Zoom. So hopefully this is going to work. Aha. So hopefully you can see my slide deck, yeah? Okay. So what I need to do is go into presenter view. Now you can see all of me now, I think. Is that right? I can see a cat
Yep.
nodding.
Yep. You're good.
Got it. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about is it's I just wanted to give you a load of quick fire stuff really. So it's called 30 ideas from 30 years. I had done this once before, 30 ideas from 30 years in 30 minutes. That was quick, but I think I've got 45 minutes, Matt. Is that right? Okay,
You
so I've got
do.
a bit more time to sort of chat instead of rush through things. So what I wanted to talk about was how you can accelerate your brand because us as the advisors, when we go and see our clients, is often not the product that they buy you. It's buying the trust. It's buying what they see about you and how they feel about you. So whilst you work for a company that might well have branding, your company might well have branding, it's how that branding shows up when you're not in the room. How does it make people feel about you? Do they care? And do they get that connection with you where when all the clients that want to have you be their advisor, they need to feel something, it's trust. And it's quite an intangible thing. So how do you actually get there and how can you get to feel that trust? So I'm just going to share with you some weird, some random, some interesting ideas. Amanda actually features in this presentation. She doesn't know this yet. Um, but some ideas that I've been doing that have brought in business at the end of the day, but brought in business perhaps playfully as well. So how can we actually have fun? We're very long doing this business, a lot of us have many, many years. And I love the fact that we can experiment. We can just try things and go, well, does that work? Oh, it doesn't, never mind. And we can do things super quickly. Whereas when you work for a large corporate, the chances of being able to experiment and try things just like that on the fly is not so easy, is it? So we're very lucky that we can get to do who we are, do what we want to do, and try things what we are, and be the personalities of the people that we are in front of our clients. And at the end of the day, if we're our true selves, I think that we really enjoy what we do as well. And I think that we're very lucky to get to sit in front of a client, privileged to actually get to that chance where we can sit there and talk to them and go, hey, we can make a positive difference to you. But I want to talk about how we show up now with our personal brand. So there's going to be part sales ideas, part branding ideas. So what I think about is it's about trust and connection. And there's different areas of this. So first of all, there's you. How much trust that they have in you? What's the connection that you can have? Then there's your team, because it isn't just you showing up, is it? It's also your team, how they show up. Now, for those of you that haven't got a team, you still have. You're still dealing with suppliers, product providers, lenders. I'm thinking all the people that you deal with, whether you like it or not, they're all part of your team. So how they show up for you and how you show up for them is also vitally important. Then the last piece of the puzzle, you've got your clients. And what I'm looking at today is where all of those things actually all coincide in the middle. And that's that trust and connection. When you, your team, and your clients are all aligned, you know when you've got that. And I can describe it often as when I'm in a meeting with a client, particularly one that you've never met before, you don't know, and you just start chatting and you realize that they know somebody that you know. And then you get to a point when you're in that meeting where you could, if there was a button on the desk or on the coffee table or wherever it is that you go, got you. That's what I'm talking about. Is how you get to that point really, really quickly, so that now the clients can work with you, and you just know that they're relaxed and you know they've got you, but they haven't said it. You just get that feeling. So it's about that trust and connection. So you are the actual core of your own personal brand. Without you, that personal brand doesn't even exist, does it? So it's how do we show up better? And it's how we show up actually shapes that brand. It's how you make people feel, which I will keep talking about, is what they remember. And it's about being authentically you as well. You can't be false. People pick up if you're not being your true self in front of them. So always do that. And I know some advisors, and a lot of them are all MDRT members that are authentically themselves, that just show up as they are. And people love them for that. And they're not trying to fit into the mold or whatever a typical advisor is. There's no such thing. It's just whoever we want to be. And it's about how those little personal touches that we do can make all the big difference when we're with those clients and when we're not in the room with the clients as well. How do they feel? So there's be 30 ideas. Some of them you're going to think, oh, I don't understand that. What am I doing? But I'm sharing all ideas with you of 30 of them that have worked for me. So, first of all, I think that branding is really, really super simple. So, I want to start off by talking about your Wi Fi. What have you named it? So, you can have all these funny Wi Fi names, okay? And these are all real ones. No more Mr. Wi Fi. I believe Wi can Fi. I mean, it's all funny, isn't it? But what have you actually called your Wi Fi? And I'm sure most of you have actually what it is, which that's ours, Citrus Financial. So that is my company name, Citrus, if you don't know. So Citrus Financial Management is what we are, but we shortened everything down to Citrus Financial. Now, what we did was that we called the network Citrus Financial, and then when the guests come in, it's Citrus Financial Guest. We put a QR code into the office, which I'll show you later. When a client wants to join the Wi-Fi, they can do it super easy without typing in a long, awful password or anything. Make it easy for them to connect to you. And the first connection you can get is with your Wi-Fi, right? But what we found was we put in, when we had the office that we've got now, we put in this, I think it's a mesh system. I'm not really too sure, but it's a Wi-Fi system that it beams in everywhere. It's so powerful that what it happened was that it was beaming to all the properties that were near the office. So within sort of 200 meters of the office, we have got residential houses. Um, we've had now two clients that have come from us because every time they were logging into their Wi-Fi at home, they kept seeing our company name. So they Googled us to find out who we were. Now, if we'd have named it, I believe Why Can Fi, we probably wouldn't have got that. But it's the simple things about how you make people feel. You think when you go to a hotel, when you log into their Wi-Fi, it's often called the hotel name. You know it's the right one. Let's make it easy. But you never know where it might lead you. So one of our biggest clients for 2024 came from our Wi-Fi network just because we named it. That was it. And it's just funny when we said to him, could we just ask what you saw? I'm very local. He said, but how I heard of you? He said, you kept on coming up my Wi-Fi list. He said, I had to Google it and find out what you're about. So who knew? So idea number two, visitors, what's their first impression when they come to your office? And I got this idea from a hotel. So when you turn up to a nice fancy hotel, it's obvious where the door is, where you go, and how you kind of walk in, isn't it? So that is the parking spaces outside our office. It needs a bit of a weed, I think, down here. Um, but what we've done is that we've actually put client parking. So when they turn up at the office, they know where they go, where they've got to put their car, and that's it. It's easy for them. They're not driving around the car park going, "Oh, can we park anywhere? Are we going to block somebody in?" So we reserve spaces for them so we know they can always get parked there, and none of the staff can park there. So those two spaces are always there, ready for someone to drive up or drive in or to be met on the appointment. Now, when they do turn up, we've also got a whiteboard in the office. There's something new. This isn't in the PowerPoint. We've got a whiteboard in the office that somebody writes on that day the names of the people that are due in. So if we have got Amanda Cassar coming in at 11, what we'll have is on the whiteboard Amanda Cassar 11, so that when somebody buzzes the door that we've got, you can't just walk in, have to get let in like an entry phone. Then the person on the other, oh, is that Mrs. Cassar? How much different is that instead of hello, can I help you? And it's like we know they're coming. The car park spaces are right underneath our office window. We can hear them arrive. So why not greet them by their name? So that's one other thing. And they quite like that. Idea number three, make everything personal. We had these cars designed for us. So our branding, which you'll notice from the actual the signs there is grey, green, and white. Okay, that's our branding, and you'll see this is quite familiar. So everything should come across. So we had these cards designed in grey, green, and white. So we got thank you for choosing us. So every client, whether it's through me or one of my other six advisors, has completed on some business, they'll get a thank you for choosing us card from me. So they get a card signed by the managing director that's very nice. They'll also get one if they're moving into their new home. We also do the happy birthday one. But we just had these cards designed. I think it was on Upwork. We found someone that would just do them. It's so cheap to do, but nobody else can send that card. And often when you are sending cards, whether it's a thank you or a birthday or a new home or whatever it is, they can be quite similar. And I was with a friend of mine the other day who's recently moved into his new house, and he had three cards with the same new home card. Whereas these are going to stand out. They're really nice textured cards as well. So do make it personal when you're doing things. Emails can be personal too. Now, this is something I experimented with. I said at the beginning today that we can play, right? We could be playing in our business. So I don't know if you can read these, but what I started doing was every time it's someone's birthday, so let's pretend it is someone's birthday on the, I don't know, the 15th of August. What I will do is that I will write that client an email wishing them a happy birthday for that day. But what I'll do is I'll have it sent to the client at 6 in the morning and whatever hour, whatever minute of the day I'm happening to write the email. So if I was writing that email to a client now and it's 7:14 for me, I would time that email to go to their inbox at 6:14 on the day of their birthday using send later. Now, what happens is when we used to send birthday cards, and I know people like that, and that if that works for you, then great. What we found with the emails is that most of the clients reply because we're opening up a line of conversation. So all of these examples are real. These are real emails here. So I haven't necessarily have I taken the name off. Yes, I have. So this is the interesting one, which is, "Hi David, thank you for your birthday wishes. No, thankfully, but off to Machu Picchu." So I always make it personal. I don't say, "Oh, it's your birthday day. Happy birthday." I'll write something in there so they know I know it's them, if that makes sense. So mention about the car they've got, or are they seeing the kids? Hopefully going to go for a walk with the dog. I don't know. But make it personal when you're doing it. But then what happens? Just had a coffee with Richard, his husband, and he said, "I'll give you a heads up before meeting you. I'm about to receive." So out of that email for the birthday, we got an investment of just shy of £300,000. All because I wished a happy birthday at 6:03 in the morning in a two-line email. So it's super easy to do some of these things if we just know, and the rest of the team has started rolling this out. But the great thing is you open a dialogue with the client as well. They've got a reason. They'll often email you and say, "Oh, thanks ever so much. I'm doing this today." And it's just a nice thing to do. So what happens at weekends though, if the birthday falls on a weekend, I'll send the email to go out on the Friday evening. at about 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'll say, I noticed it's your birthday on Sunday, so they know that I know, and I'll do the normal message. But the reason I send it at six something in the morning is because what's the first thing that often people do when they wake up in the morning? They wake up, they might go and grab their coffee. The other thing they go and grab is the phone. So they will go and grab their phone. So our email will be one of the first things they read for the day. So it's super easy and it costs nothing apart from 2 minutes of your time to do. So emails can be personal too. So try those out as well and be surprised where it gets you. So idea number five, go on the radio. Now, a lot of you know I do this already, and it is honestly one of the easiest things to do. So I've tried this and experimented with it, doing it at various times with other radio stations and never not got on. Now, for some people, you might think, oh, radio talking like that is scary. Yeah, it is. It's kind of supposed to be as well. And it's good to do things in life that you do feel slightly afraid of from time to time. I have a saying that the best things in life are on the other side of fear. So if we're not actually feeling a bit scared, I would say, oh, are we growing? So it's maybe a bit harsh, but the radio. So I got onto here because I rang the radio station with offering my services. They had an advisor on there, and he was no longer doing the role. So I rang up and said, I'd like to do it. I'd never done it. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I just thought I'll be all right, won't I? And that was 27 years ago. So I'm still now all over the radio locally. It's led to other things as well, which I'll share with you. But your local radio station, whoever that might be, have a listen into it. What I've found, because I've worked for the BBC as well myself, I was a presenter a few years ago for them as well, was that they really want audience interaction. They want the audience to give them the stuff that makes the show come alive a bit more. Okay. So if it's just that person, the presenter just talking, it makes the show quite flat because they want colour, I would call it. So people ringing in and people love to hear from local voices and local people. Why shouldn't that be you? So if you have the local radio on and there is a story about finance, which there often is, money is always something to talk about, ring in or text the show with an opinion. And you'd be surprised how many times they'll actually come back to you or mention your name, or even better, ask you to go on air for a comment. It's the most easy thing that anybody could do. Now, I've tried this when I've been traveling to prove a point. So I was down in Devon about 3 weeks ago, and the local radio station down there were talking about money. I think it was to do with retirement, how to have a good retirement, what's a good retirement, something like that. Um, and I thought, this is gold. So I pulled over and I texted the show. 10 minutes later, they're ringing me saying, can you come on and review your point? It's like, yep. So I'm on in a radio station that's some 300 miles away from where I live, giving an opinion as a professional, and then you put the phone down, you're done. But you never know who hears this. Then you can take a recording of that. You can use that recording in your social media. You can talk about it. I was on air. The credibility that it brings is second to none because you're viewed then as a professional. You're in the media, so you must be right. Okay. So use that and actually try it. It's real, and it's super good fun. What I've also found is by every time that I've done a whole presentation about how you get on the radio, by the way. But what I've found when I've been on the radio is that I then pick up clients, which are the presenters, the journalists. So I've got lots and lots of clients, all now who work at the BBC, just because I decide to go on air one day. So try it, but you never know quite where it leads. So that was me on the what's called the Martin Lewis Money Show television program, which heard about me through doing my BBC local radio. Okay, that's where it all started. And I found myself in here, I think it's about 3 years ago now. And how many people that saw that program? It's about 3 million. It's prime time main channel television and 3 million. The phones did not stop ringing for about 2 weeks, and we are still getting business off the back of it. But if I hadn't have ever rung up that radio station and said, I can do that, it would never have led to that. So we've easily made well over six figures just because I had a 20-minute slot on that show. So you never know where it goes. You never know where it goes. Idea number six, use Loom. Now, Loom is doesn't show you too well on here, but Loom is a brilliant way of recording your screen and talking through something with your client. Now, what you'll see on the screen there is actually a load of fund research. Now, if we do fund research for somebody that's investing their money with us, rather than send them a long email where you can see what happens with the client, where you're saying, Mr. Client, I think you shouldn't be in this fund anymore, you should be in this fund, and here's all the research to prove it. What you find is that the client's going to look at the research that you've attached, try and read the email, look at the two between them, often get really confused, and then you've got to send a chaser email a few days later saying, Did you get my email? What do you think? And sometimes they get paralyzed by having to make a decision where there's something technical involved. Now, what I do is I just call up the PDF on my screen, I hit record, and I narrate the document. So I'll just talk it through and say, hi, Kat, just to let you know, here's your document. I've attached this to your email, but let me just walk you through it. And I scroll through the document and use my mouse pointer and just talk through that document. The clients absolutely love it. They can't get enough of it. To have feedback on the way I've presented something is really rare, but I get a lot of feedback for that. They'll often email and say, yeah, great, got the idea, but what a brilliant way of showing it, David. And that's what we get. So I've used Loom to describe how an offset mortgage works. I've used it for the fund research that you see there. But you can just record your screen and you appear as a little tiny bubble in a little bubble as your head. So you do see yourself. But get practicing with that, and it saves so many meetings. And in fact, the software tells you how many meetings that you've saved. My only caveat I would suggest with Loom is that I've never done a video longer than 6 minutes. So keep the videos really short and snappy if you can, because then you can say in the email to the client, I've recorded you this video. And when you pop up saying, oh, hi, Kat, it's David here, the personal feel of that for the client is huge. So get onto Loom. It's super cheap and really, really good. It also now does AI summaries of what it is that you just talked about with chapter markers. So clients can then go straight to the chapter that they're on and actually go straight into where you are and have a live translation. It's just ridiculously good. So use Loom. Idea number 7, personalize every single thing. So in the office, when we have a meeting with a new client, we have a PowerPoint presentation, which just walks them through what it is that we do, how we work as a firm, what our team look like. And so that all the advisors are consistent with how they talk about me when I'm not in the room, how they talk about the firm. But what we do is that we load this up on the screen when they're there. We've got these meeting room screens and we put their names in. It's such a simple thing. But when you see your name on something, how much more warm do you feel towards that person because they're using your name? It's such a simple thing, but it also shows that you've thought about them. All right, it's Mr. and Mrs. Bloggs I'm putting in here, and that's the date of the meeting. So do that. But also any reports that you send out as well, put their name on it. These are all the reports that we use, and you notice white, grey, green. White, grey, green. So they feel that familiarity with the brand as well. They kind of, even if we didn't send it with the logo on, they probably know who it came from. That's the idea. So have a think about that as well. Name every single thing that you possibly can in your business. So number 8, how do you show up? Now, what I'm talking about here is, do you wear what's suitable for the people that you're going to go and see? Now, I know that clothing is quite relaxed at places, which is fine, but I'm just saying that if I was to turn up to go and see some of my clients in media in London, for example, and I turned up wearing this suit here on the left, I would stand out for all the wrong reasons. But if I turned up in this idea here, a shirt, white shirt and blue jeans, I'd fit right in. So think about who are the people that you're going to see? What are they going to be like and dress according to how you think? So if I was going to show up to somebody in their late 70s for a first meeting in the office, I'd probably be more here with the suit, shirt and tie. I wouldn't be that casual because they're judging you, and that first impression really, really counts. So just be careful about that. Also, what I do, if I know, this is a bit sad, I know what I wore when I saw that client last. So I'll try and change my shirt color or something so it feels different to them, but I'll still be wearing the same sort of thing, but invariably they'll see something different. So I was wearing a white shirt yesterday, I've worn a blue one today, not because I want a clean shirt, but actually because I know I'm seeing somebody today that I saw yesterday I spoke to. I want to look different today, but still the same, if that makes sense. So just be careful. So idea number 9, the verbality habits. This is from Strategic Coach. Now, one of the things I do is that I coach for Strategic Coach here in London. They've given me permission to share this, but it's so beautifully simple. I love it. So if you want to get more referred, show up on time, do what you say, finish what you start, say please and thank you. It's not really difficult, is it? But particularly the showing up on time thing. That is something I'm absolutely on point with. So we all get sometimes where we get stuck in traffic. I then get the office to call ahead to the client and say, David's on his way, but unfortunately, this is rare, it happens. But when it does, I'll ask them to call ahead and just say, David's running a bit late, he's stuck, and give the place where I'm stuck because they know I'm stuck. It's not an excuse. Um, and so be with you very, very soon. But what I do is if I'm there supposed to be at 9 o'clock and say I think I'm going to be there about 5 or 10 past, I'll get the office to overpromise and I'll under deliver. So what I mean is they'll say he'll be there before 1/4 past. So in their head it's 1/4 past. So when I turn up at 10 past, in their head I'm still early, right? But I'll then say, "Oh, hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. Um, did the office call you? Oh, yeah, the office did. It was brilliant, blah, blah, blah." So I check that the office rung as well. But yeah, just show up on time, do what you say, finish what you start. And often as advisors, that's sometimes a bit difficult with some of the things that we do when they get complicated. It's often easy to put it on the to do pile and not the to done pile. And so say please and thank you. It's not difficult. This business is super easy. So your team. So looking at that other circle now, the team. So the team, they're an extension of your brand. Empower your team to live the brand as well. How do they feel? Do they do everything that you want them to do in the way they do? Do they send the thank you cards? Because that consistency builds trust. And I really believe that if you've got a happy team, you get happier clients. It's really different when you get somebody answering the phone that is happy to be there, is on brand with you. The clients can tell. They can just hear it in their voices. So, idea number 10, look after them. This is what we did at Christmas for our team. We got sacks from Santa. Of course, he's real. And we got everyone's names put on them. So you can see Trish, Neve, Charisse. We had everyone's sacks named. And we did the 12 days of Christmas, where every day they would get something put in their sack before they broke up for Christmas. And it could be something silly like a bar of chocolate or something, but you got no idea how excited the team got because they were getting something because it made them feel like a child again. So it's a really, really good thing. And then they take that sack home. It sits under the tree. We also, yeah, that's me with a beard dressed as Santa in the village. Um, but also that's the tree. We also bought presents for everybody around the office as well. We gave them a budget to choose something, but then they had to choose one of 3 things, I think it was, that they might want for the budget. They wouldn't know what it was, but we went off and bought one of those 3 things and wrapped it up and put it under the tree for them. That wrapping paper, although you can't see it, is branded. We even branded the wrapping paper. So it's grey mostly, but with our logo all over it, because then it goes under the tree at home. And you never know when the family are coming around to see the person that works for you, they're going to see our logo under the tree. They're bound to ask a question as to who it is that they're there. And how's that going to be seen when you're not in the room? Probably quite good. So we also did this 12 days of Christmas. That's day one. Then we moved, we had little videos of it. There's the chocolate that they got on day one. I won't show you the whole video, but you get the idea. Idea 11, show clients your team. They don't know how big you are. You go and see them. So in the PowerPoint slide, this is what we've got. I share with them, oh, this is the team of people they've got. And most of the reactions that I get is, oh, wow, you're bigger than I thought. Because if you're just seeing them, especially at home, they've got no idea what your office looks like. So show them who your team are. Make sure you just introduce them all. Shared team values. Now, we sat down long and hard and thought about what are our values? What do we want the team to live by? And how are we going to make decisions? So these are our 7 values. You can pinch them if you want, that's there. But we love what we do, right? We get it right first time, welcome change. We're a team, we keep our promise, our reputation matters, and little things make a big difference. So we've taken that and we live by that. So if we have a decision to be made in the office, and we used this only the other day, an example where Somebody was perhaps not being so team spirited, and I had to point out to Richard, my COO, I said, well, look, team number value four, we're a team. If we're not, they're not leading by our values. So do we keep this person or not? So make sure you've got your own values. What are your values? What's your North Star? What is it that you have that consistently is a filter for the things that you do in your office? And is that personal? So things like we love what we do and little things make a big difference are things that I've always said to clients, but now it's in writing. It means more. So what we've done, that is our office, okay? So you notice grey carpet, white desks, green background. There's our values up on the wall there, so everybody can see them. But even the coat hanger is grey and green, and the doors are grey, right? So everybody feels the brand when they're in there. And if a client pokes their head round and sees in there, they'll also see it as well. I did number 13, use AI. Now, AI is moving quicker than we can think about, but we've used this thing called Planner Pal. I'm not sure if it's in Australia, New Zealand, don't know. But think about what it is that you do when you take notes. Can you have somebody take the notes for you? Because for me, we've got two ears, one mouth. We've all heard that before. But when you're sitting in a meeting and writing stuff down and the client just wants to talk to you, AI can do a lot of the listening. So I've got this thing here called Claude, Claude Note. I take that around with me. You can get it on Amazon now in the UK, but it's a little thing. It is the size of probably a credit card and about three credit cards thick, and it just sits on the back of your phone, listens to the conversation, and gives you a summary. Brilliant. So start using AI as if you much as you can because it's coming, whether we like it or not. But I think that the worry with the AI is not that it's going to take away our jobs, it's the fact that we don't use it in our jobs. It's there to make our lives easier, not threaten us. People still want people, but use it to leverage to do a better service and to represent your brand better. Idea 14, birthdays out of office. We give every member of staff whose birthday it is the day off. Brilliant. They get that as extra. It goes down really, really well. It also means that they're off when other people aren't. So people will say, I've got a day off today. And they'll talk to their friends, and their friends will say, oh, we got a day off? It's my birthday. My work give me a day off. So we're talked about out of the room with our staff, friends, and family in a nice, positive way. And it costs not a lot to do it, but it's a really good thing to do. They love it as well. They love if they get the birthday off. If the birthday falls on a Saturday or Sunday, they get to choose either the Friday or the Monday off, and they get a long weekend. 15, right, charity. Think about who you could partnership with. We thought long and hard about this with the office, and we came up with this really quite clever thing in the end. Because all very well just to give a check, right? And that's lovely, and charities need checks. But we were trying to involve something local as well. Now, what we did was the power of giving, and we sponsored our local football team. But what we did was that we actually did a board game collection. We send to all of our clients that we want brand new board games. We've set up an Amazon wish list if you want to do it, but donate your brand new board games to us. They need to be in shrink wrap. Then what they do is they give with that charity partnership that we had. We had that charity then gave these board games to underprivileged children and families so that they could sit around a table, talk, while they're playing a board game. And it's quite simple and easy, and you can buy board games for a couple of dollars up to whatever, but it shouldn't preclude anyone from giving. But what happened was the local football team, which are these girls here, and I'll talk about them in a minute, also got involved in it. So they had their teams and their parents all giving board games. We could do a presentation, and it was like a perfect circle. We had the local football club helping us. We were coordinating it as a business. The charity partnership, Friends for Families, loved it. And they ended up, I think, with about 300 and something board games to give out to these families that are underprivileged. Really low cost, engaged the clients as well. Everybody was a winner. We also did a foundation grant with MDRT to a local hospice as well. So those foundation grants are out there. So do support the MDRT Foundation and do apply for a grant where you see somebody that might need some money as well. And that all goes to the right places and it helps massively. So local sponsorship. We didn't sponsor the men's football team. We sponsored the girls because they were about to disband because nobody looked at the girls. And this happened to be at around the time of the England Lions winning the Euro or whatever. I'm not great on football. They won something to do with football as a trophy, right? So the traction that we got behind this is brilliant. and their little faces when we actually donated money. So they had matching kit, because up until that point, they hadn't got kit. They just used to wear what they wore. We've now got that club, and where they were going to disband, they now haven't. They've kept going and they've gone from strength to strength to strength. And guess what? They also ask us to help out at the summer drinks festivals they have. We are really involved in that sponsorship. Local rugby club, where my son actually plays, they were after some sponsorship. And again, rather than just give them money, we said, well, what's the money going to do? Can we direct when it happens? And we noticed that all the coaches had mismatching tops. And the coaches volunteer. They're out there every Sunday in any weather. So we sponsored all the coaches' tops. They've got these super warm tops with our logo right on the back. Because guess what? The coaches are always looking at the game. So the parents are always looking at the back of the coaches. I mean, it's such a silly thing, but it just works. And these jackets were really good jackets. And years later, they're still wearing them. They love them. So we sponsored that. And even you could do something silly. This cost us, I think, equivalent to you, about $5. We sponsored the best carrot competition at a local gardening club, right? It's just a bit of fun. But we got to use this in some of our socials, and that is a particularly good carrot, I have to say. We got to put leaflets out and everything as well, but it's just a bit of fun. So you can have an awful lot of fun with this. And it was actually a client that was part of that gardening club. And what happened was she was so grateful just to get a bit of sponsorship for the best carrot. Um, she actually referred us a client almost straight afterwards. So it's the cost of sponsoring a carrot. I mean, gee, I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? But it's all good fun. Right, just mindful of time here. So we sponsored the team, put the shirts up in your office as well. We've got all that going on. So your clients, how to create an unforgettable experience. Because every interaction shapes it. That consistency, you also want referrals, right? It makes what you do for them memorable. It's what they talk about when you're not in the room. So if you go and set up a life insurance for a client, they're probably not going to say, "Oh, Amanda, the best thing about Amanda, she did me such a great life insurance policy." Like, never. They're going to talk about, "Oh, Amanda was great because what she did, she went through all these options with us and made it seem really easy. I felt that she had our best interest." It's all about how you felt dealing with that client, how that client felt dealing with you. So it turns those clients into advocates so that also they will go off and talk about when you're not in the room and give you those referrals. So be a good host. We have a choice of tea. We have actually got our very own coffee machine. Now, I know the Australians particularly, I think New Zealand, I don't know if you're quite as fastidious about your coffee, but the Australian coffee is really good. It's not as good as that, I'm just saying, but it is freshly ground coffee when they come in. So be a good host. Personalized client gifts. Now, this was for a presentation in Budapest. So that is actually a Budapest currency, but it's actually more to do with this. And I'll tell you a story about a Mr. and Mrs. who lived locally. And what they did was that he had a Jaguar car. He used to love his Jaguar. It was completely impractical, noisy Jaguar car. He used to drive it up and down the village. And he was in his early 80s. And they moved away. But what he did, he had to sadly give up driving. He just kept on, well, hitting things, I think. So he had to give up his driving license. So he gave up his car. And we have this thing where in the office, we empower all of the team that they can spend up to about, it's £25 in sterling. I don't know what that equates to where you are, but say $35, okay? And they get to spend it on anything that they want to say thank you for that client being a client, so long as it's not chocolates or alcohol, okay? Because that's too easy. The idea is you listen in your client meetings to what their interests and hobbies are, then you send them something. Worst case scenario, you order a book on Amazon of something they said they're interested in, okay? It's not high value things. But this guy, he gave up his Jaguar. And I saw on Facebook Marketplace, one of these wing nuts was for sale for £10. Uh, so I went and bought the wing nut. I wrapped it up in a candle box that I had spare, and I gave it to them at Christmas. I just saw this and thought of you, and I just delivered it around for Christmas. And the email I got back from those clients afterwards was amazing. And he was then in his mid 80s. And he said along the lines of, in a day now with the age that I'm at, where all you can get for Christmas is a scarf or something smelly for the bathroom or something, he said that It's actually the most thoughtful gift I've ever had for years, and it takes pride of place in my cabinet. It's got a display cabinet where he keeps models and stuff. But he was so chuffed. But the value of that, the cost of that was really low. The value to him was huge to the point where they then moved 2 hours away. And they said to me, look, we're looking at moving 2 hours away, but one of the considerations for the move is whether you will still look after us or not. I said, of course I look after you. And he said, right, we're going to go and move then. And I think a lot of that was to do with the fact that I'd spent a crazy low amount of money on something that meant an awful lot to him. So think about your personalized client gifts, not wine, not chocolate. That's too easy, right? That's what your car dealer would do. We're different. We got to know the clients. They've done a fact find with us. And by the way, don't call it a fact find with your client. Don't ever call it a fact find. They haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Call it a getting to know you. I just want to get to know you. We've renamed our forms getting to know you forms. So I had to go viral with branding. This is where Amanda comes in. So we had a water bottle, a chili bottle. Amanda came to visit me in the office one day, and you were going off up to London, were you not, to do some touristy things. So what we did, we put some cold water in a chili bottle that's branded for Amanda to take up there. And I said, when you're up there, Amanda, take a picture with the bottle somewhere. So she did. Now that is actually outside Buckingham Palace, where the Queen, when she was alive, used to live. And so we posted it. Then a client saw it and thought, "Oh, I'd like one of those bottles too." I said, "Well, you can have one of those bottles, but so long as you take a picture of it where you are." They went, "Okay." So then what happened was this. So we had someone take that bottle. I think we had them go as far. I'll just put them all up. You get the idea. Somebody took citrus sweets, New Zealand. This one is actually New Zealand. So I don't know where this actually is, but it was somewhere in New Zealand, wherever that view is. If you know where that is, it went as far afield as that. We had health spas, we had beaches, we had boats in Greece, we had clients were taking our bottles, clients were providing our social media posts for us. And it turned into this whole fun thing, thanks to Amanda sending me a picture of something in Buckingham Palace that we could have just posted, but actually, let's have some fun with it. So you can have some real fun with these things. We got to the point where we had random people ringing us saying, I've looked on your website and I can't find where I buy your bottles. We were nearly having to do merch, right? It's fun. So have a lot of fun. And these chili bottles aren't expensive, right? But you never know where it's going to take you. Idea 20, client feedback. Do you ask? Do you ask what they think of you? So we use a net promoter score, it's called, where it's a simple thing on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us? So that is our current score, 9.7. If it's a 9, they're going to. If it's a 10, they're going to. If it's 7 or 8, they probably will if they are asked. If it's below that, they probably wouldn't. So you want to make sure your net promoter score is high. I also ask them to say, can you tell me one word about what you think of us? And they do. So they just give us one word. And then we use the feedback on our website. We can use all that everywhere we actually want to go. So make sure you ask your clients. Um, then you can use also Google reviews. So we started asking for Google reviews. Now, how this happened was we had one that was not great. Our first Google review is 3 out of 5 stars. And it was quite strange. So the review said 3 out of 5 stars, great local company would recommend. It's like, well, why 3 stars? It got funnier because he wasn't even a client of ours. It was somebody random that probably meant to leave the review for a different company, had left it for us. And you can't get these things taken down. So we had to wash that review through. So what we were then doing is asking clients, look, can you leave us a review? So they did in their spades. And now we've got a lovely review rating average, I think is 4.8, 4.9. I think if you've got a perfect 5, it's not, it looks too suspicious. But here's the thing I think is quite funny with this is that I don't know if you look at Google reviews. When you look at Google reviews, you always look to see if it's, let's say it's a restaurant you're going to, and you think, oh, it's 4 out of 5. Okay. I would often go and look at, well, what's the worst review? I don't know whether it's just me, but I'll go and find the worst one that's 1 star and see what they said about it. So if they go and look at our lowest review, it'll say great service from a local company. So we win anyway. Okay. So it's all good fun. You never know where and when you're going to actually be seen. So this was our QR code asking people to leave us reviews on Google. And my marketing man put this poster up right by the men's bathroom. And I said, what are you doing putting it up there? He said, well, there was a space on the wall. I put it there. And it was like, oh, you got to be kidding. We had some clients leave one day, and the husband went to use the men's. She was just standing here waiting for it to come back out. She scanned the QR code and gave us a 5-star review. So we can actually say we've had a 5-star review from our toilet. Okay, so you never know where you're going to get seen. Idea 21, make them feel welcome. This is our welcome booklet. If you were physically in front of me, I'd show you. But we had a booklet made so when someone becomes a client, it's like an onboard welcome, and it's lots of the slides about what else that we do in a booklet form, introducing the team and saying how you can get hold of us and how you can interact with us on social media. It's like a booklet, sort of a half A4 size, but we had that made so everyone gets sent one of those as well. Enter awards. Awards are everywhere. Enter them, not just because you might win, because I can tell you now, we've never actually won, okay? But the process of entering the award tells you an awful lot. And you can use this as, well, we're a finalist. We're a finalist in this award. We were highly commended in this category. And what we did was take the team out, that's some of the team, for a night out, and they had an absolute ball that night. Everyone loves getting dressed up. So it's an excuse to go out for the evening. And we then got those and put them on our reception desk. So even if you haven't won, you still have, right? So enter awards as well. The power of yellow. Now, this is a bit of a random one. I always use a yellow pad with a client. They remember more about what you write with a black pen on a yellow pad than they do if it's on white. Fact. Don't know why. Also, if you still use paper files, your notes stand out from the other paperwork you've printed off the printer. So it's super easy. But clients, when I do drawing of stick men and graphs and stuff on the paper, often they will so much more remember it on yellow pad. A lot of them will say, oh, yellow paper, that's unusual. And I just joke with them and say, well, it's on brand, isn't it? Because we're called citrus, it's lemon. So they kind of like that as well. So there's a bit of playfulness in there as well, but it does work. Okay. Number 24, have a marketing plan. Have you actually got one? So this is ours for 2025. So everything that we could possibly be doing, we sat down and we scoped out when are we going to actually market that. So I can tell you that we're going to be doing the Chipstead Football Club Awards Day, happened in May. So it's just a way of putting out on a whole calendar what you're going to do rather than ad hoc. Otherwise, often things happen. Now, it doesn't stop you still having those ad hoc moments. We had a dog in the office the other day, and I took a picture of the dog looking around the wall. I post that anyway, right? You can still do that, but have some consistent delivery of what your marketing plan actually is. Have a plan. It's not difficult. And if you want a copy of this, I'll share it with you, whatever. Number 25, create your own channel. Whether you like it or not, we are all a media channel. So set one up if you haven't already got one. Just do lots of videos, talk to camera, and just put something up there. Put a comment up. Now, we've started building all this in YouTube, and we start getting traction from it. We can refer clients to videos about it. We're experimenting at the moment with the titles. I don't think that these titles are harsh enough. I think we've got to change them so that it's what's the client saying, what are we answering, instead of just telling you what it is that we've actually done. So we're playing with the titles being a bit more punchy at the moment to grab people's attention. But yeah, just record your own videos, do that. Put your brand everywhere. We've got it on pens, we've got it on pencils, we've got it on notepads, everywhere in your office where they can see it, just put it everywhere. It's not difficult to actually do. 27, be consistent. These are our brand guidelines. If anyone's using our logo, this is how it can be used and how it can't be used. Simple stuff. But if you are going to give this to a magazine, you're going to put an advert in or something you're sponsoring, at least there's some consistency around what colours they use and how it's going to look. So it always looks and feels the same. Raise a smile. We did a campaign about life insurance, right? We went really deep on this. What if you get hit by a bus? And then we took a picture of that with a bus. And it's at the bottom, it says life insurance. Okay. So we had a lot of fun with this. This is actually our old office, but we then used that on all the social media and people found it quite funny. It's a bit tongue in cheek, but it gets the point home as well. Number 29, have others talk about your brand. So if you are doing a channel, like I said, don't think that you have to provide the content. Talk to somebody who's your local real estate agent and say, would you like to be interviewed for my channel? I just want to talk to you about how you go and buy a house. And they're all going to go, yeah. and they'll also promote what you've done through their channel. So have others talk about it as well. So we get guests in. You can see there's often sometimes there's one head here, sometimes there's two heads. We get guests in because then what they will do is promote it through the network of local businesses as well. So try that. And lastly, write articles. It's so easy to do. Just write blogs, write articles. People will want you to help them out with different bits and pieces. So your brand is your legacy. It's not about what you do. It's all about what you do to make people, how you make them feel different. And just do one thing today. Just, you're on here from this meeting today. I'm just encouraging you to do something different as a result of hearing this and being with the people that you're in the room with. Otherwise, it's been a waste of time, hasn't it? You've got to go out there and do something with the information that we get. It's the same when we go to MDRT meetings. It's great to go, but what counts is what you do with what it is that you've done when you've left the room. So in financial services, the best brands aren't the loudest. They're always the most trusted. So go out there and get more trusted as a brand and have fun with it. Be playful, enjoy what you do. And I hope for you that that's been an interesting sort of, well, slightly more than 45 minutes, unfortunately, Matt, but I'm done. Thank you.
You can live again, mate. Well
I'm
done. That
water
was
now.
awesome. Um,
You can breathe now.
yeah, that was high intense. A lot of, I think there was 31 tips here. You've need to recalculate. Um, and I, for one, my biggest takeaway out of that whole thing was now I know what a attractive talent is, which is highly important for about to sort your dinner out, I guess. Um, Thank you so much. We've got a few minutes left if you can hang around. Is there any questions that anyone wants to shout out quickly? Just conscious of the time for David, he's probably got to get to work. Anyone? Throw it out there. Unmute yourself and talk. If not, thank you again so much for your time. There was a mention about the MDRT grants program, and I know that Travis is on here, so I'm actually going to get him to unmute as the country chair. And I know there was a chat about it in another chat I was in the other day. So, Travis, if you were listening, can you please give us a couple of minutes about the MDRT grant process, what you need to do?
He's running around after the kids.
Does he? Okay. Do you want to do it, Kat? Because you know too. You've had
Yeah, sure.
grants.
And unless he comes on here, exactly. For those of us who don't know around how the MDRT grants process works, it's really, really, really easy. And we've got to the end of August to actually get them in. Sorry, my dog's having a moment behind me because the cat's in the room, and that's what happens. So we got to the end of August to be able to put grants forward. For those of you that don't know, every one of us that put forward a charity, that charity will receive something. So that's one of the first things that you will know. If you put someone forward, they will receive something. It's the easiest process. You just have to do a covering letter saying why you're supporting them. In fact, I think I got Sarah and Paula to help me out last year, and I think Matt wrote them for you, which is even better. And we submitted them, and between the two ladies, we got $7,000 for Kids Can, and we got $2,000 for Pet Refuge. And amazing. And my relationship with Kids Can is ongoing as a result of that, working with them on doing other things as well. There is Travis, I know, and I believe Budgie are working on a list. I don't know if you're aware of it, Matt. They're working on a list of all the charities that in New Zealand we could actually potentially, or people that we might have actually had in the past, put forward for grants. And as a result, anyone who has not requested a grant before or thought about putting someone forward, reach out to Trav, reach out to Budgie. They've got the list. They can put your name forward. You just need to have your MDRT number, etc. I'm unsure of how many actual grants were done last year. I was talking to Budgie about it today. I feel like it's as low as, keeping in mind we've got 90-odd thousand members. I think it's less than 1,000 people put people forward for grants, which is unbelievable. So there's no excuse that all of us in Australasia can't see if we can help our local community. And you'll all have some sort of charity that's touched your heart over the years, and we would love you to put them forward. I've got the most amazing opportunity this year to be part of the team that are helping choose those grants. I'm getting up at 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the morning here in New Zealand, about 3 nights to help them out, which is going to be interesting for everyone the next day. But I can't wait. And obviously New Zealand, Australia, if you've got any forward, I'll be helping to get them chosen. So if you need to just get the charity on board. If anyone's got any questions around them, you're welcome just to email me personally. You just put the charity forward to the link. There's a link on the website for grants. I'll actually get it put onto the New Zealand chat group and the Aussie chat group if they're not aware of it. And you just send that supporting letter through to the organisation. They upload it. The charity themselves does all the grunt work. You guys just need to put them forward. It's amazing. David, how many have you done over the years, love?
Well, applied, got grants or
Applied.
one, been truthful, but we're actually applying for another one now. But I've also been on the grants committee for 2 years in a row as well, involved in the foundation as well. And it is amazing the work that they do and the difference that they can make. So yeah, I encourage everybody to not only donate, but actually, apply for grants needed. It is, and the process that you go through, I think, is a really good process. It's very rigorous as well, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. So you've got to be a registered charity. There are rules around it. All of that's checked out by the team up at HQ, and the process sort of dictates all of that. The organisations I've put forward in the past said it's really seamless, or brilliant. They could do it in half an hour to an hour because they have most of the information sitting there. So anyone wants to put one forward, let us know. We've got to the end of this month to put them forward, which will be really cool.
One of the ones I did a few years ago that I was involved in ended up getting chosen for annual and global.
They did too.
2019 or